Okay, here's my fairy tale video. First off, my notes here, I got 9 letters and I guess a numeral, so that'll make 10. And, okay, so I had The Princess and the Frog. One day, a princess went on a walk, and she's walking along the pond, and she gets tired, so she sits down on a log, and she has her favorite ball with her, and so she's playing with her ball, tossing it up in the air, and comes back down, she's catching it, and then she tosses it up too far one time, and then the ball goes and rolls into the pond. Well, she's sitting there crying and thinking, oh, this is terrible. I would give all my jewels and all of my clothes, fancy clothes and things, if I could just get my golden ball back. The frog comes out of the water, and he asks, what's wrong? She thinks, who's talking to me here? She goes, well, I lost my golden ball. It rolled in the pond. And he goes, well, I don't want your jewels, and I don't want your fancy clothes, but if you'd let me eat from your plate and sleep in your bed, I'd get your golden ball back. I could do that. And she thinks, this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm talking to a frog right now. How is he going to get my golden ball back? But, it's one of those situations. She thinks, well, what do I have to lose? So she agrees and says, Frog, if you can get my golden ball back, then sure, you can eat from my plate, and absolutely you can sleep on the bed. So he gets the ball back and then gives it to her, and she runs away and runs back home and forgets all about the promise she made to the frog. And then later that night, he knocks at the door, and she opens the door, and she forgets all about the promise, but then remembers as she opens the door and slams it, and then she's a little shook up, and her father asks her, what's wrong, princess? And she goes, well, I made this promise earlier today that the nasty frog could eat from my plate and sleep from my bed, and I don't want to deal with that, really. I mean, I got my golden ball back, I'm good. And he goes, no, you got to honor your promise, princess. So she honors her promise and lets him in, and helps him up to eat from the plate, and he goes, now take me upstairs and I'll sleep at your bed. And so he does, and she thinks it's a one and done deal, but he comes back the next night. And he comes back the next night, and she helps him do the same thing, and then the third night, and then helps him up to the bed after she helps him eat from the plate. And then the next morning she wakes up, and there's no frog, but there's a prince there. And she sees the handsome prince, and he explains that he was enchanted by a fairy and couldn't break the charm until princess let him eat from the plate and sleep at her bed. And he thinks she's so wonderful that he's going to ask her father if he can marry her and take her back to his kingdom. And about that time, a coach rolls up, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you.